We go for another old trope here from Kojima's games: an old man in a mecha. Like, if it's not this guy, it's fucking Liquid Ocelot and his rays.
Mm. Then again, he reminds me of Solidus.
He has a bit of a Solidus. Like, I think he was actually. I think this guy was definitely designed after Big Boss because this would have been after Metal Gear 2, the MSX games before Metal Gear Solid. So, in those games, especially in the originals, like Big Boss is literally just Sean Connery, as in like taken from his likeness from Hunter for Red October. So definitely took the same design for him here. Now you might think that was a bad ending, but no, we're good.
How the fuck are we going after that?
He's a really bad shot.
No, we're in zero gravity. Like, he's not bleeding out. Like, the blood is going out at different rates. As daft as it sounds, like it's not like spurging out because there's no gravity to act upon, so it's going out in bits and bobs. Or at least that's how Kojima interprets it. I don't think it actually worked that way in real life. I'll be honest with you. No. I think it'd be the opposite, where it just expurts any kind of pressure.
I was going to say, I imagine you're letting a hole into your body. Chances are you're probably just going to.
Yeah, the osmotic pressure will do the rest.
You're either going to X, or implode. One of the plodes is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Well, if you let out into space, you
or all the blood just sucked out of you or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I think if you're thrown to space, you technically implode because it's the atmospheric pressure in your body that crushes you. Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Like, you just become kind of I think some movie did that before, where you just see like basically a mist appearing in the suit, and that was like a red mist, and that's essentially.
Yeah, I think I don't know which one you're talking about. I can't remember which off the top of my head.
I can't either. I think I remember seeing it before.
Well, like it's like everyone kind of makes that like mistake about being blown out into space. Technically, you're sucked into space.
Yeah,
because it's negative pressure. But now, of course, like John's been blown to bits now, he gets to listen to the villain's exposition before he dies.
So he's just going, oh, for fuck's sake! Why couldn't I be on Earth?
Now, next time it cuts to Jonathan, pay attention to his design, because there's something very subtle there that if you're not looking for it, you don't see it until it's drawn attention to you.
I can't tell if Jonathan's trolling or not. Like it'll turn around to him and it'll be something very subtle. It'll be his face will just be different completely.
He suddenly just looks like big, like Solid Snake for some reason.
Very subtle. I don't know if you can tell.
Just starts breaking into a monologue himself.
An endless series of proxy wars.
And wars. Maryland Caribou.
Grabel.
Icon. So this is how they've rationalized doing what they've done, because they've accepted that we can't survive in space, so they have to basically set up an economy to survive, which is heavy drugs, heavy machinery to basically act as an exoskeleton, and if all that fails, for cosmic rays and radiation, organs. Just countless organs.
I just really wanted you to end that where you're like, heavy drugs, heavy machinery, heavy metal, dude.
Heavy fucking.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah. Like he even says it himself here, like the long time confinement and the loneliness of like being up in space. They haven't realized that they're the ones that have turned evil. Like it's like they're basically saying we've seen people turn delusional, you know.
Oh my god, it's like another version of the. Are we the baddies?
Literally, but they don't realize they're the baddies. That's the thing. Like it's like they've completely rationalized like a hideous human harvesting economy to survive in space. Now this was always the part that doesn't quite make, well, I'm gonna say make sense or anything like that, but like
I mean, I do think if you find yourself fighting what is essentially an unarmed man while you're wearing a mech suit and monologuing, I think you should probably stop and go, I'm definitely the bad guy. I'm definitely the bad guy here.
I'm definitely not morally correct.
Yeah,
here,
even if I think I'm right, I'm look at me.
Yeah.
Look at my facial hair and my mech suit. I am definitely the bad guy.
History will see my side of the story.
Yeah.
Like intended, like they've already like been to Mars at this stage, so like they're just gonna basically try and like let's go to Venus now. We can't go to anywhere else because they're very windy. Now there's a clue here if you can find it.
I see a lighter.
Do you see a lighter?
And it's lit. Is it a lighter? It looks like a lighter and it's lit. Yeah.
Or a shoulder.
The shoulder.
It was on his left.
Yeah.
There.
It wasn't a lighter now, but there is something on his shoulder.
Or was it a bullet? Or was it his badge?
Not his badge, no. It was Foxy has it. It's on his shoulder.
Is he wearing a mech himself?
No, he's not wearing a mech himself.
He's wearing a bulletproof fucking vest.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see it again.
I mean, to be fair, I'd be expecting to wear some sort of Kevlar anyway, otherwise to be surviving. And like that mecha would have armor piercing bullets, so.
Fine, fuck you, cunt.
Oh, he's wearing the fucking camera.
Oh, what you're seeing there, Dennis, was his
oh yeah
logo. Was the Policenauts logo on his jacket? That's what you're seeing.
Yeah. No, it's a camera.
Yeah.
It's a camera.
Yeah, he's recording.
There you go. He has been taping this whole thing, which also means technically he has been recording his murderous onslaught of the entire building.
Yeah, but like this is why you don't fucking monologue.
Yeah.
The fuck.
But that's what I mean. This is what I love about it. Like Kojima is already aware of his villains monologuing, so he's actually kind of used that trope in this game, even though he's this is quarter fifth entry. So. Ah yes. Now we move on to the gaslighting. If anything, Jonathan, it's your fault everyone's dead. We must take Jonathan's heart, eat his courage, and we will survive to the next century. And that's the end of the monologue.
I was gonna say, look at the dopey face on him.
Yeah. Hmm.
気でも食ったか。そこのテレビを見てみろ。希望通りお前の演説を全世界の人たちが聞いている。ゲイツ、お前も身の破滅だな。メリル、うまく撮れてるか？
Yeah. Smile, Mr. Becker. You're live on the BBC. Please don't swear again.
Now is not the time for quips, you dumbass. I've been shot several hundred times.
Wow, even the asshole copper from the station. No. Hey. Hey. Great line.
Just a severed head all of a sudden.
Well, to be fair, like his body was locked into the mecha, so and the only thing that was open was the headpiece. So kind of checks out. Kind of problem is though, that's the last donor that Karen has. So now this is straight out of fucking Lethal Weapon. Like the two lads fucking carrying each other out of the fucking building, like
with the fucking saxophone playing in the background.
That's it. Yeah. It's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm still in my mid-20s. Fuck you, Jonathan. And now your new chief of police, Meryl Silverberg. Thing about Beyond Police, they really respect for powerful women. Damn, they're fucking terrified of her. Who the fuck said that? Fire that man. The amount of high-fiving that Connolly has done now that Tokugawa's been arrested. There is a fucking American party happening on this Japanese Connolly right here.
We're the donor for Karen.
Hmm?
We're the donor for Karen.
Yes. Well spotted. So do you think that was down to chance or
No.
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 And so yeah, that's it then. So now it's just down sign off the story with the epilogue. And unlike Metal Gear Solid 4, which has an hour and a half epilogue, this is only a couple of minutes, so we're good.
That's not a fucking epilogue. That's another fucking game entirely.
That was a movie. Like, I've only watched that recently. That's a full fucking
Listen,
movie.
I'm sick of your anti-Metal Gear bullshit, right? That was a goddamn,
I never said I
that was
didn't
a
like
goddamn masterpiece.
Beautiful. But yeah, you have to also recognize the quirks of the series as well.
Listen, it is one of the most realistic, ground-based series there's ever been.
Realistic.
Yes.
Really?
Do you happen to have a walking tank outside your house, Dennis?
No, was there a walking tank outside the house in the game? No. It was on a secret fucking military island, wasn't it?
And have you heard of any secret military islands with walking battle nuclear equipped?
Yeah,
battle
Shadow
tanks?
fucking Moses.
Doesn't exist.
It's a real place.
No, it's not a real place.
俺もお前に渡すものがあるんだ。なんだ？これさ、見てみろよ。これはマークが。ああ。俺の顔だ。俺のエド。もう大丈夫だよ。マークはお前を理解してる。
In fairness, that's actually quite a serious deal for Mark to actually communicate like that. So there you go.
Ed, your boner's pushing into me.
Ed, you're technically choking me out here.
じゃあなエド元気でなジョナサンもういいところだこっちに残らんか
Really isn't such a bad place once you get used to the radiation.
居場所はない行くよエドそうか
It's so weird to hear like an 80s remix of that.
Isn't it? You actually get to hear the whole tune now as the end credits. Like it's a full 7-minute fucking track, like.
Didn't we hear it at the start?
Yeah, I think I heard most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna
What's also
happen.
funny as well, the package he's been thrown out there is an actual pack of Marlboro. Like they're like not even the gimmick cigarettes you have now. They're the proper ones. Which means that was actually Merrill's.
Which is also funny because like that's another trope in the fucking game, like Metal Gear as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
even not just fucking like Metal Gear 4, like Metal Gear Solid itself,
The whole thing, yeah.
sneaking a whole fucking pack with him.
Yeah.
We're gonna get through this with the cigarettes I hid in my
Those fucking
stomach.
smokes saved his fucking life.
He did.
And I won't hear any more bullshit about it.
Yep. So you can see Karen's alive and well.
コリンズ博士から全てを聞きました。私、なんて言ったらいいか。ありがとう。私はいつもパパのそばにいます。あなたの娘、カレン。追伸、
There you go.
忘れ物よ、探偵さん。
Yeah.
ママに叱られるわよ。
So yeah, I think even that was kind of lampshaded a bit in the earlier in the game when like the timing, like if you did the maths, you realize like she's what kind of age and how far away Jonathan was thrown in deep space. So the timing does actually match up there. So fairly well signposted, but again, it's another twist for the crack like. So what you're hearing now is the actual song. I think it's called "End of the Dark." That's the actual piece of music that the jingle is taken from. So whenever you hear it through the game, it's kind of pitched up, and so the whole credits here basically are the is the full 7-minute cut and everything else in between. And from what I can recall, this track is basically the kind of where the take most of the other soundtrack from. So you'll hear a bit of the alert and a bit of the action music here as well. So it's a big mix of everything from the game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you notice there that Kojima was the voice actor for one of the guards there. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was the last guy to chime in there going, "You guys are the real Policenauts." I think that was him, I think. Not too sure, but I think that was him.
Yeah, because I don't expect him to be fully like acting masterclass, like kind of voice level.
But it's very true to life though, where he's like gushing over his own characters. Kind of is like, you know, you can imagine him like, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Like he is shedding a tear writing this script. Like he is very emotionally invested in his works.
I
you know?
love these characters so much.
Yeah. Jeez, like I mean, I remember after playing like Snatcher and like the sheer amount of stuff he wrote in that game, all like background stuff. You know, like there's basically an archive where you can like get all the lore and stuff like that. And like this guy like is writing this fucking perpetually just for the world building, you know. And then all the other things you can do, like it's not like this game where it's more linear. Like you can kind of explore around a bit in Snatcher, and some of the side stuff there is nuts, you know. Like if I ever do a playthrough of Snatcher for this channel, like I have to try and remember all the other side bits that are there in between all the acts, you know, because like in the first 2 acts you can kind of gallivant around and see what happens, and there's like weird little tangents and exploration stuff there, and then Act 3 is where like, okay, now the plot's kicked in. you need to get back to the plot. We don't have anything else for you here, you know. But so it's a different game as well, but you know, similar idea, visual novel stuff, you know. There'll always be that kind of conversation which of the two is actually the better game. So goes down to people's interpretation. While the credits are rolling out, lads, that is the end of the Policenauts playthrough. What did you make of the Policenauts? Obviously, my attempt of playing it through did not work out as intended, so we've had to rely on the fabulous work of Nintendo Complete here for this playthrough. What did you make of it? What was your thoughts on the game?
I mean, it's solid. It's very long-winded, but I mean that goes with the territory of being a visual novel. More, it's a visual novel more than it's a game. It barely classes as a game, really.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things about it is that, like, I mean, I was even kind of surprised by how little gameplay there is.
Yeah.
Even for a visual novel. Story-wise, though, it's good. I mean, it is good. You know, it's while slightly predictable in places, it's still an entertaining story. I like the characters, but yeah, I just found it a little bit of a slog at times. I think purely because virtually non-existent gameplay. I think that was the main thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think certainly like the genre and
can I just interject though? This song is exactly my jam. It's
great, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. Like I'd agree with you on that one as well. Like in terms of like sometimes this type of genre doesn't really conduce well to pacing. You have to get the pacing really, really on point if you're doing a visual novel. Like I think we mentioned earlier in the playthrough that stuff like Ace Attorney gets it really, really well, where everything kind of has a natural ebb and flow to it because of the gameplay. Whereas this is almost written as a screen, is written still as a story.
Oh, it's
first.
definitely it's a movie. Like it's definitely written as a movie
exactly.
or whatever, you know.
But it's also like, as I said, it's a movie that's stretched out to what, like 10.5 hours. You know, it's a long slog. But if you took out all the actual gameplay bits, like the acts still work out the same way, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about yourself, Foxy? How did you like it? Because obviously, like all the three of us, we're all Kojima fans, generally speaking. But this is one of the works that people don't really hear about that much. I'm afraid Japan aren't it. But what did you think of it?
It is like because again, this is the first time watching through it fully, as opposed to just seeing bits here and there and kind of having a basic gist of the plot. But actually seeing the story play out is it is enjoyable. I could definitely see this being, considering the pacing of it, this wouldn't be outplaced being, say, an animated series.
Yeah.
Just split into like 10 episodes maybe, or like several episodes. Like it's definitely long enough to be that, but yeah, the gameplay is non-existent. Sometimes it comes across very unfair, like we've said in the past. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, like there's not really any chance to either speed along or change that pacing up much. But
yeah,
but no, I like it. I did genuinely like it. Yeah, like again, and plus it was great to actually hear, like, obviously, like the jingle, like that becomes synonymous with any like Kojima's work, because he always tries to include that at some point.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny because like like a lot like I know Konami use it as well, or used to use it at certain points, but it is literally just like a hat tip to like the jingle in Metal Gear Solid is a hat tip to just this game. And like I don't know like what the reason for it is outside of like it just sounds good, you know, kind of way. But yeah, it's a fair point. Like I think like definitely it's a like I know when this game was initially released, all the stuff the graphics were kind of hand drawn, and then for the PS1 version they got AIC to basically redo them as anime cutscenes. So it certainly had a lot more polish to it, and then you had voice acting and all that stuff on top of it. But yeah, I see your point with the gameplay. Like it's at least not the kind of thing where like I feel like I have to deny you gameplay by proceeding to the next level. But yeah, it can be quite difficult at times, either by design or by accident, depending on the section you're on. And then of course you have like the one puzzle that's in it, and that's based off like having like the game manual. So sign of the time, I guess.
ビヨンドと地球は一続きだ。たとえどんなに離れていても、地球との関係は不変なんだ。
There's no shocking plot twist at the end of this one, lads. This is just a few philosophical words from the protagonist before we sign off.
俺たちはいつも近くにいる。いつも見守っている。
Presumably that was a message just to not nuke Earth. That'd be my guess. So yeah, there you go. So that's Policenauts in the books, and if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty closest to our longest playthrough we've ever done on this series. I think this and Omicron are on a pretty similar time frame. So bit of a slug, like I said, a bit of a slug, but we got there in the end. We've made it through, and we're now looking forward then to our next entry. So I will say this is going to be a little bit different this time around because again, new year means new gimmicks. But this is just kind of formalizing what we did last time, where we basically picked our next 3 entries in one go. So next week you're going to see what happens because with the magic of editing and post-production, all this stuff, we've already decided what our next games are going to be, but you don't know yet, viewers. And before Dennis gives the game away, I'm gonna basically lampshade it by saying that yeah, you're gonna find out what our new situation is and what games are coming up next on the channel on our next video in the game gallery. But until then, we'll see you next time on this channel. By all means, do all the YouTube stuff, give us a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to let us so you will find out whenever we are live again with the game gallery or any of our other shows on the Nerds of Rust channel. Gentlemen, you're more popular than I am. Have you got anything to plug while you are here?
He's like, no,
Book us for stuff and give us money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll happily take your money. Now, like, comment, subscribe. If you want merch, there's t-shirts available for the Nerds of Us channel, as well as posters, stickers. So there's merch for the channel. Just, yeah, FYI. And other than that, yeah, like, otherwise I'll go into a spiel. So, like, no, like, I'll stick it solely to the channel.
Fair enough. And yeah, and from all of us here now, we'll see you next time in the game gallery. From myself, from Foxy, from Dennis, and his dog. We'll see you next time on the Nerds of Us channel. Good night, everybody. Oh, he's such a good boy. And Dennis too.
You